Hi everyone, this video devo is called God Has You, and He truly does. So let's start by taking a look at Isaiah chapter 40 verses 12 to 31. And I'm going to be coming from the New King James Version. Who has measured the waters in the hollow of his hand, measured heaven with a span, and calculated the dust of the earth in a measure, weighed the mountains in scales, and the hills in a balance? Who has directed the Spirit of the Lord, or as his counselor has taught him? With whom did he take counsel, and who instructed him, and taught him the path of justice? He taught him knowledge, and showed him the way of understanding. Behold, the nations are as a drop in a bucket, and those counted as a small dust on the scales. Look, he lifts up the isles as a very little thing. And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor is beast sufficient for burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted by him less than nothing and worthless. To whom then will ye liken God? Or what likeness will ye compare to him? The workman molds an image, the goldsmith ever spreads it with gold, and the silversmith casts silver chains. Whoever is too impoverished for such a contribution chooses a tree that will not rot. He seeks for himself a skilled workman to prepare a carved image that will not matter. Have ye not known? Have ye not heard? Has it not been told you from the beginning? Have ye not understood from the foundations of the earth? It is he who sits above the circle of the earth, and its inhabitants are like grasshoppers, who stretches out like the heavens, like a curtain, and spreads them out like a tent to dwell in. He brings the princes to nothing. He makes the judges of the earth useless. Scarcely shall they be planted, scarcely shall they be sown. Scarcely shall their stock take root in the earth, when he will also blow on them, and they will wither, and the whirlwind will take them away like stubble. To whom then will ye liken me? Or to whom shall I be equal, says the Holy One? Lift up your eyes on high, and see who has created these things, who brings out the host by number, and calls them by name, by the greatness of his might, and the strength of his power. Not one is missing. Why do you say, O Jacob, and speak, O Israel? My way is hidden from the Lord, and my just claim is passed over by my God. Have ye not known? Have ye not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, the Creator of the ends of the earth, never faint nor is weary. His understanding is unsearchable. He gives power to the weak, and to those who have no might, he increases strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young man shall utterly fall. But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. God knows intimately the universe he created. No one can instruct God, for he is an all-knowing God. I like what my study Bible says here. In verses 12 to 26, the prophet, meaning Isaiah, proclaimed the majesty of the Lord over the idols worshipped by other nations. The great Creator, God, the Lord, intimately knows the universe he has created. No one instructs the Lord. He's an all-knowing God. See? There's confirmation. All too often, we'll take and put God in a box. We'll put him in a box and only bring him down when we need him. God is not designed to be put in a box. He wants a relationship with you and I. If God designed the universe, he intimately knows the universe. What makes you think that he doesn't intimately know you? In verses 27 to 31, Isaiah refers to the Lord's people as Jacob and Israel, and they felt they had forgotten them. They were discouraged and afraid because of the concept of God is too small. All too often today, most of us have the same concept, that God is too small to handle our problems, and he's not. Our God is great. He is mighty. There's nothing that is too small for him to handle. Those who wait on the Lord will exchange their weakness for God's strength. And I like what my study Bible, once again, my New King James Study Bible says, serving God in the mountaintop experiences of life, when his people can soar with him, is not so difficult. The most difficult times of service can be in the monotonous everyday grind of life, when God's people feel like they're spinning their wheels and going nowhere. The Lord's children can exchange their weaknesses for God's strength in the daily walk of life. I'm going to read verses 27 through 31 from the Message Bible, because I like how it puts it. Why would you ever complain, O Jacob, or whine, Israel, saying, God has lost track of me. He doesn't care what happens to me. Don't you know anything? Haven't you been listening? He doesn't get tired out. He doesn't pause to catch his breath. He knows everything, inside and out. He energizes those who get tired, gives fresh strength to the dropouts. For even young people tire and drop out. Young folk in their prime stumble and fall, But those who wait upon God get fresh strength. They spread their wings and soar like eagles. They run and don't get tired. All too often, we try to do things in our own strength, in our own ways. And when we do that, we will stumble and we will fall. But haven't you noticed that when you place everything in God's hands, how much better things work out? How much smoother things go? Even in a monotonous grind of day-to-day living, it just seems to go better. It just seems to go smoother. If you just wake up in the morning and just say, God, thank you for today. Thank you for everything that is going to happen today, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. Because I know you're going to have it. We can look at the world and see what's going on globally. And it's not pretty. But we can also look to God and say, I know you have it because I know you intimately know the universe you created. And I know that you have me and you know me intimately inside and out. And you even know my name. So be encouraged, be inspired. God has you on whatever struggles that you're going through. He will help you to go through to get to. All you have to do is just take him out of the box you designed. Take him off that shelf. God's not a genie. He isn't meant to be rubbed like a genie in a bottle. It's meant to be rubbed to make a wish. God doesn't operate like that. He wants you to take him off the shelf, take him out of the box that you designed, and allow him to be with you every single day and in every situation. Is it going to be easy? No. But I promise you this, it's going to be worth it. It is going to be so worth it. So relax, trust God, know that He has you. Till the next video, take care and God bless.